You're not broken. You're just being lied to. If you're a guy and you struggle with dating, it's not because you're weak or because you can't make it work. It's because everything around you is designed to keep you in this position. Modern dating is a scam. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how it works, who it benefits, and how to break free. Yo guys, Max here. Today we are going to expose the entire modern dating industry. I'm sure you've noticed all the advice that you can see everywhere online barely works. All the lines, all the openers that people tell you to send on Tinder barely get replies, nothing seem to work, and yet everyone is all the time telling you to do this or to do that. And whenever you just bring up the idea that maybe it's not working, everyone is coming for you. But no, you're not crazy. Modern dating is really a scam. See, okay, I'm here, I'm telling you that everyone's lying about dating, the dating coaches, the red pill people, the mainstream media, everyone. And I'm a dating coach myself. But the thing is that I am focused on getting results. I'm focused on figuring out what works. So when I see how all the mainstream advice or even the dating niche advice that became mainstream now, when I see how all of that is spreading lies that don't work, and when I see how many people, even the people who come and work with me, tell me, okay, Max, I tried this, I followed this very famous coach and nothing works, what's up? When I see that all the time, I can't help but think, okay, I need to make this video. If you don't know me, my name is Max, nice to meet you. I've been traveling the world, I've been dating hundreds of girls, and I've been coaching guys for years. So full disclaimer, I am a dating coach, but in this video, I want to share with you the truth, what actually works right now in the real world. If you're watching this video, I assume that you're not a very beginner, totally blue-pilled, totally romantic, thinking that to get with women, you have to shower them with gifts and flowers. I assume that you're past that. You've looked a little bit into dating advice and how to optimize your dating life and your behavior. Because you've looked into this, you can see that all the advice in this area is complete bullshit. Nothing works. Here's the lie you've been fed for so long. Maybe you've figured already that getting ripped doesn't help with girls. Maybe you've figured that making more money doesn't help with girls. And I understand if you're not there yet, I'm saying this, you're thinking I'm talking nonsense. But bear with me, it's gonna make sense in a bit. Maybe you've noticed that all the lines people tell you are good to start a conversation on Tinder don't work. Maybe you've noticed that buying the premium subscriptions on dating app does nothing to help your results. And even besides dating apps, you've noticed that when you meet girls outside in real life, all the mainstream usual advice doesn't work either. Being yourself doesn't work, being confident doesn't work, talking to a lot of girls doesn't work either. So what works? So first, let's dissect surgically the lie you've been fed for so long. Modern society teaches men to be emotionally open, endlessly patient, and approval-seeking. And yes, I know, it sounds very noble. That's the exact trap and lie I'm talking about. Because you're convinced that this behavior sounds noble and is the right thing to do, that's the exact reason why you are trapped. If you find yourself to be a little bit too much of a Mr. Nice Guy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. On paper it sounds good, but in practice it never works. And yet everyone is still telling you to do it. Inviting girls to the restaurant, having long conversations before asking a girl out, telling her the exact thing that she wants to hear to have the conversation be entertaining, as if it was going to warm her up enough so that she wants to go out with you. You know all that doesn't actually work. Or in truth, it works, but just barely, so that guys don't rebel and break the system apart. If you invite girls to dinners all the time on the first date, you're gonna spend an enormous amount of resources on this girl, and you're very rarely gonna get one who eventually is gonna say yes to sleep with you. If you're always having super long conversations on Tinder before asking a girl out, yes, everyone's going to tell you that it's the good thing to do, but you know very well that maybe out of 100 conversations like that, only one will actually come out on a date with you. And when you look at this from the angle of, is this a good investment of my time and resources? The obvious answer is no. But the lie and the system in place of current modern dating is there so that you feel like this is your only option. And that's why this lie is terrible, because it's accepted by everyone. So it's a loop. The lie feeds itself, because if you don't follow the lie, everyone's gonna tell you that you're crazy and that you're not doing things the right way. If you don't want to pay on the first date when you go out with a girl, everyone's gonna tell you that you're crazy and you're never gonna find a girl. And that goes for everything. If you don't follow the mainstream dating advice, everyone's gonna shun you. And that's why you can never get out of this unless you know what I'm gonna talk about next in this video. See, the real reason you're actually struggling is because you're not taught the right way to go about dating. I'm gonna make another video on that topic in the future, but the thing is that the way dating works changed so much that now it's just so far away from the mainstream lie that nothing makes sense anymore. But there are still people who benefit from the mainstream lie, so they are not gonna tell you the truth. And it makes sense, because if all you know is the lie, you don't know any better, so you go with the lie thinking it's working. Especially because everyone thinks and say it's working. I'm gonna give you the truth right now, but understand that when you stop following the lie and you try to follow the truth, it's gonna feel difficult. You can't be a nice guy and follow the true way to make modern dating work. Because by definition, you're gonna be a nice guy if you follow the lie. Nice in this context is something that was defined by somebody else that believes in the lie. It's something that was defined by other people or things or groups or communities that benefit from the lie. To me personally, if you follow the lie, you're not a nice person. But that's because I follow the truth. And people who follow the lie, to them, being nice is following truth. That's why it's so difficult, because in finding the truth and recognizing the lie and trying to get out of that lie to follow the truth, a lot of people are not going to like this. Let me put this bluntly, you can't be successful with women if you care about having others approve of what you do. Because again, by definition, most people follow the lie and they will not approve what's actual truth. I know it's a little bit confusing, bear with me for just a little bit more, I'm gonna give you examples later. But I just want to emphasize that being good with dating is more than just dating. Being good with dating means not being good socially in the eyes of most people. Just to give you a quick example, you know very well how men who go their own way, and I'm not talking about all the black pill, MGTOW thing, I'm really talking about guys who do whatever the fuck they want, and when people don't like it, they can go fuck themselves off. If you have this attitude about life, everyone's gonna say that you're an asshole, but you're gonna get so much pussy. I'm sure you know guys like that, they don't give a fuck about anything and they get laid like crazy. It's just an example, but that's the way it works. You're never gonna get good with dating if you try to be a good boy in society's eyes. So before I even tell you the truth, ask yourself this: do you want to be an outcast? Because that's the price of success. And it's funny because it's the price of success in dating, in business, in social relationships in general, in everything. If you want to move up, closer to the truth, you're gonna have to leave behind all those who want to stay in the lie. Yes, you're going to lose friends over this. It's gonna feel lonely, it's gonna feel tough, but at least now you know what you're getting into if you want to really have a successful dating life. Because again, remember what you're leaving behind. Yes, you're leaving behind the validation of the group who still believes in the lie, but you're also leaving behind all the terrible relationships that you have, all the girls who talked to you, who wasted your time, your energy, your money, all this bullshit, you're leaving it behind. And as a result, you're gonna get way less validation, and a lot of people are gonna start thinking that you're an asshole for going for what you want. But trust me, the rewards are worth it. When you finally have relationships that you like with girls that you find really, really attractive, it feels very nice. Moving on, let's talk about that truth. Modern dating doesn't work anymore because women are using ambiguity and plausible deniability to extract as much resources, time, effort, energy, emotional investment as they can from men. Plain simple. I'm saying this now because I don't have a lot of subscribers yet. If I had 200,000 subscribers, I wouldn't be saying that. It started with dating apps and social media, but it generalized to most of the female population. And yes, there are exceptions, but still most of the female population. Now, it doesn't mean women are bad, okay? I only have love for women. But I know what I'm getting into. And I want to share a little bit of this compassion with you also in this video to put things in perspective, because women don't act this way because they are evil, okay? Women act this way because the system allows them to. The truth is that most women who are stringing guys along, they don't even notice this as a bad thing. To them, it's just the way things work. And so I'm probably gonna talk about this in my next video, about the fact that dating apps, social media gives women infinite leverage so that they embody this attention-seeking, stringing along behavior. But still, here's the truth. The average guy tries always harder and harder and harder, and the average girl always gives less and less and less. And so the worst part is that this system feeds itself. That is to say, if you're in a position where you're not getting girls, you're gonna see all the mainstream advice: oh, try harder, invite her on a first date, pay for everything, have interesting conversation, entertain her over text, and maybe eventually she's gonna come out on a date with you. If you're the average guy, you try this, and you see it doesn't work, and the first thing that comes to mind is not, oh, maybe the system is rigged. If you're an average man and you see that it's not working, your first thought is, maybe if I try harder, it's gonna work. And so that's how the system keeps you obedient in your mediocrity. Because again, it's not you who's being mediocre, it's the advice you're blindly following. And so in practice, what happens is that weak and obedient men stay stuck in the system, in the hamster wheel of trying very hard and getting very little results, and the strong men, they walk away from this entirely. I'm gonna tell you exactly how to walk away from this entirely a little bit later in the video. But at the moment, for most guys, modern dating doesn't work because it's an endless loop that keeps you in a bad situation where you can never generate true attraction, true emotions between you and the girls you talk to, and you can never really make them feel anything to have them actually chase you and fight for you. The system keeps you in a terrible loop where you're the one chasing, trying hard, trying to generate emotions and putting a lot of effort to get the breadcrumbs. Now, who profits from this? Well, literally anyone who's feeding you the lie has some interest in it. Dating coaches would tell you that you can flip the script by sending this very specific line are lying to you. That's not how it works. She doesn't give a shit about your clever line. Therapists make money when guys are sad and go pay them. Influencers profit from people who don't want to think and find solutions, but who actually just want to feel good by watching their content. The Twitter feminists, they benefit from this because obviously they don't want a system that gives power to men. Generally, the institutions and the economical elites, they benefit from this because they benefit from men being weak and obedient and spending money to try to please girls. Why do you think Valentine's Day exists? Red pill men benefit from this because it gives them a good reason to be angry, and instead of actually getting out of the broken system, they try harder to fight it, but that's not the way to go about it. And that's why they advertise to go to the gym, to make more money, to get a better jawline, to get like leg lengthening surgery so that you look taller and girls react to you better. All this does is teaching guys how to be better at playing a rigged game. I don't want you to do that. I want you to get out of that rigged game, to play the game that actually works. I know it sounds like a conspiracy. I have no skin in the game personally. I don't care. I don't want to overthrow any government. I'm just trying to expose the truth so that you notice by yourself why the things everyone say work don't work. It just benefits everyone to keep men in fear, scarcity, and lack of sexual options. I mean, it benefits everyone except the men. And you know what's even worse? When you tell guys what actually works, they don't want to hear it. Let's do a little social experiment. I'm about to tell you what actually works. And every time I share a new idea with you, ask yourself, does it feel good to hear? And do I want to do what it takes to make it work? The lie is so sweet because even if it doesn't promise great results, you know that 1 out of 100 times it's eventually statistically maybe gonna work, and it's emotionally easy to digest. The truth is not emotionally easy to digest. The truth hurts. When you hear the truth, you don't want it to be the truth. When you hear the lie, you like it to be the lie. It's a comfortable lie, so it's okay. But again, the truth, when you hear it, you don't want to hear it. I don't care, I'm gonna tell you the truth anyways. Here is how you get a rock star dating life. A life in which you can sleep with a different girl every day if you want to. A life in which you don't chase any girl whatsoever. You just take your pick among the girls who like you. First, you have to put women you really like in a state of mind where they are open to meet you, to get emotional with you, to sleep with you, and to see you again. To do this, you need to take a lot of action, you need to approach a lot of women, and so you need a little bit of confidence to do that, and 99% of all men are scared shitless to approach women. So that's the first requirement. That's not emotionally easy to digest. Then you need to have social skills to actually put them in that state of mind where they open up. And you need to have high enough SMV so that you appear on her radar. If she's 5 leagues above you, no matter what you tell her, she's not gonna reply to you. If you never lift weights and you try to pick up a fitness influencer, bro, I'm sorry to tell you, but whatever lines you give her to start the conversation, she's not gonna sleep with you. It might happen, there are exceptions, of course. But the thing is, if your SMV is not high enough, you're not gonna be under her radar. That's why all the time I advise guys I work with to be the total package. It's not only social skills. Of course, social skills is the most important, but in the same sense that everything is important. Now, if you're the total package and your SMV is high enough so that you're under her radar, there comes the second step. Once you put her in the good frame of mind where things can even happen to begin with, you need to have good game and good social skills to warm up her emotions and to bring those emotions up to a boiling point where she's gonna be more moved by her emotions than by what society tells her to do. Very simple example, you're with a girl, you turn her on, you change her emotions, and now she wants to have sex. But again, to do that, you need to have game, you need to develop your social skills, you need to go through a lot of dates, a lot of approaches, you need to go through a lot of rejections to be good enough to do that. And again, you tell a guy, you're gonna get all the girls you want in the world, but before that you need to do 10,000 approaches, nobody's gonna want to listen to you. The truth is just too uncomfortable, and the lie is so seductive. The key here is that you're going to put as little effort as possible into it. You're going to screen all the girls you meet very fast. Again, more on that in my next video. But the point here is that you're going to lead all your interactions towards sex, and you're going to give the benefit of the doubt only to girls who show interest and who are extremely attractive according to your standards. And again, this is emotionally difficult to hear, because when you tell a guy, talk to girls, and within 3 messages you will know whether or not she's interested and you need to move on, guys are gonna be like, no, but wait, if maybe I say this other line, this other thing, she's gonna flip, she's gonna turn around, I think she just needs more time. No bro, she doesn't. But nobody's gonna listen to this because guys enjoy the female attention, the breadcrumbs, more than actually getting results. So if you watching this video right now want to get better results with girls, ask yourself this if you never did it before. Are you in this because you want more sex, more girlfriends, or are you in this because you want women to like you? If you're in this because you want women to like you, go with the lie, bro, or you're gonna get very hurt if you don't. It's safer. Stay within the lie. Don't take the red pill. Take the blue pill and stick with it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, guys who are good with girls, a lot of girls, they hate them. Not because they are bad guys, but because in getting success with a lot of women, they had to expose the lie to a lot of girls. They had to talk to a lot of girls and bounce at the first sign of disinterest, because disinterest never turns around. And girls are so comfortable in the lie, girls are so comfortable in this situation of just having guys give and give and give while they invest zero, that when you come up and you're like, okay, you don't invest, fine, I'm not gonna waste my time, have a good day, girls get mad. I got banned from Tinder just because I will tell girls who are not interested, oh, okay, cool, well, I thought you were more interesting than that, but if you're not, that's good, take care. I got reported too many times because I was saying this as like my closing message, and I got banned from Tinder. That's how bad it gets. If you want to be successful in doing that, you have to do it covertly in the eyes of the apps, the algorithms, and the society in general. Because if you're not covert about this, you're gonna get shamed. Not because you're right, but because you're going against the majority opinion, because you're going against the lie. And most people don't know they are in the lie. So you're gonna get shamed because you're going for the truth that nobody knows is the truth. And remember, everyone has an interest to keep you in the lie. Everyone has an interest into shaming you whenever you get closer to the truth. The only person who benefits from getting close to the truth is you. Everyone else does not. So I'm yapping a lot, and you might think it's a bit confusing, because if everything is a lie, then how do you actually meet girls? I'm not gonna go too deep into this in this video, but I'm going to give you the outlines. If you wanna go deeper, you can check my other videos. I'm sharing my system everywhere in all the videos I make. Or you can even click below this video. I have a free guide to help you get there. But in short, the broad guideline is, first, when you meet a girl, you ask yourself, is she open to meet a guy genuinely? Is she open to emotionally connect with a guy in that specific setting? In general, if it's a dating app, 95% of the time the answer is no. With real life, you have way better odds. Just pointing out right here that most girls on dating apps, they are not actually on dating apps to meet people. Then the next question you're gonna ask yourself is, can I actually bring her to a place or a setting where emotionally she will be able to open up? That's why, for example, you have girls on dating apps that are never ever going to meet anyone off the app, because that's not why they are using the app. But if they meet a cool guy at a party, or in a bookstore, they are gonna be more open to it. So for example, it's when you meet a girl in a nightclub and she's in a group of friends, so obviously within the group of friends, she's not gonna show that she likes you because she wants to protect her reputation. But if you pass the test of the groups and you are generally a cool guy, you may have the opportunity at some point to isolate her a little bit from the group to actually get her to open up and get to know you. This is just textbook pulling a girl from the club. You put her in a situation where her social defenses won't be there so that she allows herself to open up to you, and then you bring her to a place where she wants to have sex with you. And that's the next question you have to ask yourself. Can I bring her to an emotional place where she actually wants to have sex? Bonus question, can you do that without investing a ton of resources into it in terms of time, emotional effort, money, all of that? Because at the end of the day, you can kind of turn around any girl in the world. This one's true, but the conditions to make it happen most of the time are not worth it. Yes, sometimes if you talk to a girl for weeks, eventually, statistically, one of them is gonna end up being your girlfriend. But that's definitely not the best way to go about it, and that's very, very bad in terms of mental health for men. Yeah, the lie works, but like we talked about, it's just not worth it. So, can you bring that girl to an emotional state where she wants to have sex without investing too many resources? And I'm pushing this idea out there because I know for a fact that you don't have to invest effort to get girls. You can get most girls, provided you do things well, you filter properly, you can get most girls to sleep with you the day you meet them. But again, there is a strategy behind it. It's not just any girl in the world. It's the girls that your system will properly filter and approve. At the end of the day, what's reasonable for you is up to you. But I can tell you for sure, it's not the mainstream lie. It's not how modern dating is supposed to work. For me, for example, I know that a reasonable investment in a girl is gonna be 1 date, 2 dates if she's really pretty and she shows effort. The money invested is gonna be 0. We're gonna go on a first date to get an ice cream, or I'm not leaving the house. And the mental effort, again, is gonna be near 0. If from the very beginning she's not giving me anything, there is no point following up. And I'm not saying this to be an alpha male, oh, I'm too cool to chase women. No, it's just that statistically, I know that 95+% of the time when a girl is not opening up early, she's never gonna open up. So am I gonna spend all my resources on opening up the maybe rare 5%? Or am I gonna spend my resources on just meeting more girls who will be open from the beginning? And that's why you need the truth, because if you don't know the truth, you don't know that those girls who open easily and early even exist. Or even worse, you call those girls sluts, but they are not. Again, this is another way the lie keeps people in check. Girls are not pushed to open up early. Girls are pushed to have higher defenses, because if they open up early, everyone's gonna call them sluts. But ask yourself again, who does that serve to call people who open up early sluts? Well, it serves people who believe in the lie. And again, I'm not making this up. There are a ton of studies on the topic that say that no matter the amount of male partners a girl had in the past, it doesn't make her feel any different if she meets the right one. I know there are conflicting studies on the matter, there are studies that argue the opposite, but again, just giving you a point of reference, you form your own educated opinion after. And so the next big question is, can you afford to have a filtering system with your current belief system internally inside of you and your current system and environment outside of yourself? That is to say, if you're a lazy person who refuses to go to the gym and the only thing you're gonna accept are easy lines to flip girls, easy conversation starters, if the only thing you accept is the lie, you're not gonna make it work. If you believe that living in a backwater town far deep inside your country with 3 girls around is possible, you're still in the lie, it's not gonna work. You have to put yourself in a situation internally and externally where going for the truth makes sense. If you don't wanna go to the gym, if you don't wanna learn social skills, if you don't want to put yourself just in a place where there are hot girls around, the truth is not gonna work for you. It doesn't make it less true, it just makes it not working in your environment. Again, that's why the lie works so well. Now, what I can tell you is that when you follow the truth, if you're willing to work on yourself and you're willing to live in a place where there are enough women around to meet, it works. Again, 1 date, 2 dates per day if you want. The only limit is the sky. The only limit is how much action you are physically able to take. How great is that? You don't need to move to the Philippines anymore to find a good girlfriend. If you're in a situation right now where you feel stuck, well, it's probably because you believe in the lie, and on top of that, you have limiting beliefs that reinforce the lie. It's a very deep topic. We're not going to talk about that today, but I know, for instance, that guys who refuse to approach women, they think deep inside of them that it might be rude or any other thing like that. I know that guys who don't go to the gym, it's because they believe that deep inside of them, it's because they can never become the jacked guy. But that's wrong. Any guy can become jacked, provided he goes to the gym long enough. So yeah, again, in this video, we are just scratching the surface, mainly because I know that myself, I can't do more than that. If I scratch the surface and you see a little bit of the truth and you're curious in yourself, in your own heart, to dig deeper, that's how you're gonna reach that truth. If I expose a little bit of the truth to you and you think, oh, this is bullshit, well, I did as much as I could, because I'm not gonna change your mind. All I can do is push the fact to you, and then you do whatever you want with them. That being said, ask yourself, the guys you know who are successful with girls, do you think they believe in the lie? Or do you think they believe in the truth? Alright, that's pretty much everything for this video. As usual, you can find below in the description all my links to my free stuff, my paid stuff, my coaching. Don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below what you thought about this video. Tell me how you feel about modern dating in general. Share your experiences. Maybe we can have a good laugh. And if you enjoyed this video, well, give a like, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time.